Hi, and welcome to the Taiwan language channel. I'm back, and better than ever. Not really, but I've taken a nice break, and it feels good to be refreshed, uh, have some experiences, and come back with those experiences. Work has kept me busy, so sorry I haven't made any videos lately, but I'm back with your favorite character pronunciation differences. Ha! Well, this time I thought I'd do it a little bit differently. Um, Now I want to talk about character pronunciation differences just in contexts and in like compound word preferences. So what I hear and what I've noticed people saying when they read characters, whether it's in China or Taiwan. So this will probably be really helpful for people who are learning Mandarin and are confused because things change. So let's go over the first one, which you see right down here. It's a character that's used to talk about mooring a boat or positioning a car, as well as like a pool of something. And you can see the radical has 3 drops of water. So here's a couple of pronunciations for it. Pronunciation 1 is bo. Pronunciation 2 is po. So down here in this example box, it says "iha." Just thought it would be funny to have some cowboy onomatopoeia characters there for fun. But here's an example word with bo. So, oops, that's in English. Pinyin. Bocha. There you go. So bocha is, it means to have a car in a parking spot, basically. So it's a noun form. And you can imagine historically how this went. Like, used to be like Chuan, like parking spot for a boat, an anchored spot for a boat. Anchor the boat in this area. So it is a noun phrase, expression. Cha. Right, so that's bo. It's like more about a noun for parking and position. But then when it's po, one example of that is this word. Sorry. There. 血泊 would be a pool of blood. So it literally means blood pool, but they put the blood first. So that blood is pronounced 血 in this compound word. 血泊, right? Pool of blood. I guess it's not really a compound word. It's just like a combination of words. But po is sort of modifying it's like a measurement for pool, basically. A pool of something. So yeah, there are a couple of interesting pronunciation differences. I don't see this character a lot, so I don't know how often you'll be thrown off by the 2 pronunciations. Probably more likely will be bo, but yeah, it's something to keep in mind when you're reading. Make sure to ask. So yeah, there's the character down there. The radical is 3 drops of water. The other radical is white, the character for white. So there you have it. And the next example I have is this character, which is in this example word I have already. And that can be pronounced, nope, not that one. That can be pronounced 血, just like 血泊, so pool of blood. But it can also be pronounced 血. And when it is the third tone, 血, it's, I usually hear this, like I can safely say, in this sort of example, bleeding, 流血. 流血 means like leaving or dripping. So you'd also say like 流汗 in China. Here in Taiwan they say 出汗, like exerting sweat. Han is sweat. So 流血 is like exerting, sorry, not exerting, what's the word? Giving off, letting out blood, leaving blood, right? So 流血. I don't know why, but I've never heard anybody say 流血. So this one, I'm not really, I don't consider myself very knowledgeable about yet, because I haven't seen enough contexts where the pronunciation switches. I hear people in mainland China say 混血 a lot, so they pronounce it that first way, 血. But yeah, maybe you can leave a comment in the YouTube comment section so I can understand it better. But there you have it, something to be aware of. xue and xie. The next example I have is this one. It's a very, very common Chinese character. If you see the simplified version, you can go to your dictionary. It's hui, and it means ability to do something. And it's a lot easier to write when it's simplified. So there are the two pronunciations, hui and kuai. Well, I think if you are familiar with Chinese at all, you probably understand how to use it like hui. Like, 我会, I don't know, 游泳. I can swim. Whatever. There you go. I can swim. 我会游泳. Or I can speak Chinese. 我会说中文. 我会说英文. I can speak English, Chinese, whatever. Yeah, I don't think that's that confusing for anybody. But when is it pronounced kuai? That's the weird part. So I learned this when I was a business major in my undergrad. And that would be like kuai or kuai ke, the science of accounting. So what does the kuai part mean? What does the character that we're focusing on mean? It means something a bit different. It's a verb that means like totaling or summing something. So it comes to reason that like kuai is like, kuai ke is the science of summing. Accounting is what it means. Accounting. So keep in mind that hui, if it's next to some characters that maybe you're not familiar with, or it's in a certain context that doesn't make sense, like for ability, like it doesn't fit, it might be being pronounced kuai instead of hui. Now this is in Mandarin, of course. We're all talking, all of this is about the pronunciations in Mandarin. So it has a different function probably and a different use in other Chinese dialects in more ancient times as well. So yeah, something to keep in mind. Next one we have is this one. And if you have studied Chinese at all, you probably came across this very early on. So there's a word for travel, and that is the first pronunciation of xing, xing. And in mainland China, they say this all the time, xing, for like, okay, all right. Yu xing is this word here in the example box. And then the other and that means travel, and the other pronunciation is hang. Hang is used, if you've learned Chinese, you already know probably, yin hang, bank. Hang in this word, in this compound word here for bank, it means like profession or line of work. So hang has a very different meaning. Another example word we could look at, which has the pronunciation hang, is hang ye. That means like profession. Yeah, also line of work. Ye is like industry or something. So hang ye, I guess it's more like industry. Hang ye. Okay, so that you'll come across a lot more than some of these other examples. So it's really helpful to keep in mind. The two pronunciations are xiang and hang, both with second tone. And in Taiwanese, actually, when it's pronounced like walk, when it's used for like xiang, the same function like movement or going somewhere, it's actually used to represent walking. So it's kia. It's like a nasalized sound, and it's with a k, like that sound, K or G, somewhere in between. Anyways, very interesting stuff. Next, I've got this last example for you. This one. And here are the two pronunciations. Luo and lao. So, luo, it's used as luo when you see it in a word like this. This means descent. Let me remember the first character's pronunciation. I don't want to get the tone wrong. It's jiang, but I'm not sure. All right, so it is second tone. Jiang luo means like descent. Jiang luo. So that is like when an airplane is descending or whatever, and it's pronounced luo in that context. But it has this other pronunciation, lao, also fourth tone. So when is it used like lao? I saw it in a comic book used like this. Lao zhen. And the second character, zhen, you'll see that in like zhen tou, like for pillow. And it's like descending your head on the pillow, I guess. 枕头,落枕. But I saw it used in a very interesting way. It meant like, oh, I have a crink in my neck from sleeping. So 落枕. Another thing to keep in mind. So again, these are all just pronunciation differences in both places. Every place that has a Mandarin speaking community will probably, they'll come across even speakers of any one region pronouncing these characters in different ways, depending on context. So I hope this was helpful for you, and I'll try not to wait too long before making my next video. I'll catch you next time.